Hello fellow RLQS players, my name is Kierden, also known as Blues in-game, and today I'll be discussing what I think are the most important settings to mess around with in Rocket League, and those are your camera settings. The defaults of these, like many of the default settings in this game,
are absolute dog crap.
Your in-game camera dictates how your car and your car's surroundings are viewed. At the top of the list we have the camera preset. This mainly consists of presets that have pro players settings. So if you know any pros that you really enjoy watching or you like their playstyle, you can pick their exact settings. But I'd recommend messing around with your own just to be cool and be unique. Unless you want to be at a disadvantage, turn off camera shake. This basically makes your camera have a seizure every time that your car impacts a surface. And it's on by default, which is the stupidest thing. However, if your name is Sam Terry, you can play with it on and become an RLQS champion. Your FOV or field of view should be turned up as high as you can feel comfortable. I use 110. The higher the number, the wider view you have of the field. It's an advantage to see more of the field, I can tell you that. The distance is how far your camera is from your car. If the number is at a minimum, you're basically inside of your car, and if it's maxed out, it looks like you're controlling your car from outer space. I'd recommend keeping it between 230 and 300. I use 270, but you can mess around with that if you want. The height determines how high your camera is off the ground. Go figure. The most common heights are 90 or 100, but you can mess around with this and see what you like in free play. I use 100 personally. The angle is how much your camera is tilted vertically. The more negative the number is, the more your camera will be angled toward the ground, and the less negative that the number is, the more angled it'll be toward the ceiling. I like to use anywhere between -3 and -5, but it's up to you. You can mess around with it. Stiffness is how attached your camera will be to your car when you turn off ball cam. The higher the stiffness is, the more attached it will be, and the lower stiffness, the more loose it will be and more free when you're in car cam. This is completely down to personal preference, but I personally like somewhere in the middle around 0.4, but you guys might like it
super tight
or super loose.
Swivel speed is how fast your camera swivels when you use your right stick or R3 to look around. Use whatever you like. I like 3.8. Transition speed is how fast your camera moves from ball cam into car cam and vice versa. High numbers like 2 will probably give you a headache. I'd recommend lower numbers. Mine is at 1.2. Invert swivel would make your camera swivel the opposite way that you move your right stick or R3 if you're on PS4 like me. I don't really mess with it, but you can try it out. Now that you have awesome camera settings, go kick some booty. Blues out.